Good morning and welcome to Game Jams. Yeah, that was Casino Night Zone by Masato Nakamura from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Um, so I'm calling this the Game Jams curse because for the past, I'd say, month or month and a half, every other Monday on a Game Jams day, I've fallen ill. And the severity has been here and there. Some days I was like, I can't do the show. Um, but the unique thing here is that usually I get sick the morning of, but now I'm recovering. I don't know if you could tell my voice is a little scratchy, a little congested, but we're gonna power through. So yeah, that song Casino Night Zone for some reason has been popping in my head lately as like an earworm. So I figure why not just like get it out there, just to share it with the world and get it off my brain. So hopefully it'll stop popping in my head. Um, but yeah, since we started the show jazzy, I'm gonna continue to keep it jazzy with a selection from the Dreamcast game called Floygen Bros. And I don't know if a lot of you remember it, but it was basically a game that tried to mimic mimic playing like a cartoon. So you played as these two brothers. One was the dumb one was the smart one, whatever. Like Lenny and Carl from Of Mice and Men. And basically, you played as a small one, and he would basically you'd have to manipulate the big one because he was the muscle to like do whatever tasks. And there were things you can do. You could like tease him to make him mad, and he'd chase you around and like beat you. You can make him sad, and his tears could like fill a pool or whatever. And you can make him happy, and then like he'll play with some toys or something. So yeah, so that game was actually kind of a flop. I thought it was interesting and had some fun ideas and could have built onto something greater. I couldn't find the quote, but one of the directors really overhyped it, which I think really hurt it. Not to mention the downfall of the Dreamcast. But that whole concept of a playable cartoon, I think could have went further. Yeah, the director said something like, "This innovation of this game will surpass everything that Nintendo has done," or something crazy like that. I'll have to find the quote. Maybe I'll catch it at the next break. But speaking of playable cartoons, if you like the idea that there actually is this great indie coming out from the people who made Untitled Goose Game, it's called Thank Goodness You're Here. And yeah, it's there's demo out on Steam. I highly recommend trying it out. It's like really like you are playing a cartoon. The art style seems influenced from I forget the name of that show. It's a book series too for kids where everyone's like a circle, like Mr. Happy and Mr. Sad, and they're all just different colors. I wish I could remember the name. It's a British thing. There's a TV show and a book, and then also a little bit of regular show in there. But I highly recommend trying that out if you like a playable video game. But I'm gonna stop yapping and play the track. So this is the Happy track from Floygen Bros by Brian Luzietti. After that, we're gonna play Super Bell Hill from Super Mario 3D World, and more coming after that. So yeah, stay locked into Game Jams. Oh yeah, so those last two songs in order were "Casually" from Breath of Fire 3, composed by Yashino Aoki and Akira Kada. And then after that, I can't do a jazzy set without playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's called River Stage, by Tetsuya Shibata and Mitsuhiko Takano. Still working on my Japanese pronunciation. But yeah, so I had to play some Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but it's also a perfect segue into the next part of this, where if you've been paying attention to Street Fighter 6, they just announced a new DLC with 4 new characters coming in. And this is kind of a big deal because for the first time ever, Street Fighter is now going to have guest characters. And you might be like, wait, because I was like, wait a second. But it's true. It's Street Fighter has never had a guest character in a mainline game. Maybe not even in any of the side series. Like I guess you can count like Skullomania in Street Fighter EX and all those characters in Street Fighter EX because they like aren't actually Capcom characters or something. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but yeah. So Street Fighter EX, but mainline Street Fighter games have never had a guest character. Capcom just does guest games. Like they have Marvel vs. Capcom, obviously, Tatsunoko versus Capcom, and then Capcom versus SNK. The two of the characters announced. So M. Bison from Street Fighter 2, and then Elena from Street Fighter 3. But then we have Terry and Mai from Fatal Fury. So yeah, they're going to be guest characters in Street Fighter 6. And I'm just hoping that this is a precursor to a new Capcom versus SNK game. Hopefully, maybe they're just testing the waters and seeing what happens, and seeing if there's demand, but I really hope so. And if they do make a game, this is probably a long shot. If Capcom vs. SNK 3 comes out, I really hope Satoshi Isa does the soundtrack, because I love Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. Capcom vs. SNK 1 and 2 soundtracks are entirely done by him, and they're amazing. So I'm hoping to hear those. But in celebration of the new guest characters and just the whole new roster in Street Fighter 6, we're going to play some themes from them. So first up is from Fatal Fury Wild Ambition, or Garu Densetsu, if you're in Japan. This is 11th Street, stage of Terry Bogard. Coming up after that is Tomboy from Street Fighter 3. That's the theme of Elena. So stay tuned and enjoy. You're tuned into Game Jams. We're about halfway through the show. Those last two tracks we played were the theme of N. Bison by Hideyuki Fukasawa from Street Fighter 4 and Flame Dragon God Nippon. That's from Fatal Fury Special. That's Mai's theme. That's by, forgive me if I don't get this right, Shinsekai Gakuyoku Zatsugaiden. That's, we were celebrating the announcement of the new roster of characters for DLC characters for Street Fighter 6. That includes Terry Bogard, Elena from Street Fighter 3, M. Bison or Vega if you're in Japan, and Mai from Fatal Fury as well. Moving on, I decided I wanted to show the N64 some love. I don't know if I mentioned this at all in the last show or at all, but N64 has been coming up a lot because the hacking community was able to create a way to just compile N64 games like straight to like PC, which is pretty amazing, and they've been doing some amazing stuff. So I actually watched a video the other day about the internals of the N64, and something super interesting. N64 being a 64-bit console really meant nothing except for marketing. To try to put it in layman's terms as much as I can, having 64-bit, so that's a 64-bit CPU, and basically what that meant is that it had more registers to be able to hold bigger numbers. So it could do math with bigger numbers without having to do any like fancy conversions or anything. But it turns out, as far as this video says, basically it didn't really matter because no games really needed to do it. And in fact, it actually made some games slower because they were using these larger numbers. So when you're programming, you can allocate a space. So you can do something called a float, which takes up a certain amount of space. But you can also use a double, which takes up more space but allows you to use bigger numbers. And that allocates more space. But it turns out, I guess, people were using doubles and they only need to use floats. So basically the compiler would convert them, or the runtime would convert them down, which actually made them more inefficient. So basically, if N64 was 32 bits, it would have been more efficient and faster, which is super interesting to me. Even to the point where apparently, I guess GameCube went down to a 32-bit processor. Don't quote me on anything on this because I was just like watching the video and I'm just regurgitating something I memorized from memory that like I only watched once, but something to that effect. But basically it all comes down to N64 being 64 bits was just a marketing ploy and didn't really do anything for the performance of the console itself. Something else I thought was interesting is just the fact that there were so many like trance techno soundtracks on N64. I don't know if this is revisionist history, but I don't think the same for like PS1 or Saturn. I don't think that was the big music genre then. But there's lots of like housey music. So yeah, just get ready for a set. I know DJ Level is gonna like this one. I'm gonna start it off with a track from the new Tetris from Neil DeVos. It's called Divi, and then after that we're gonna be playing something from Bomberman Hero, and that's by Jun Chikuma. So this is Divi by Neil DeVos. And yeah, so that was the bonus game track from Super Smash Brothers. That's by Hirokazu Ando. Before that, well, let me start at so the last three tracks. City 2, and that's from the Extreme G soundtrack. It's by Simon Robertson and Stephen Root, which Stephen Root is also the name of an actor. If you've seen Office Space, he's the guy that loses his stapler. If you saw Barry, he's Barry's mentor. If you watch King of the Hill, he's Bill Dauterive, but I'm sure these aren't the same person. But that would be hilarious if he was also like a secretly making soundtracks, like techno soundtracks for N64 games. After that was Shock Strike by Justin Sharovona from Buck Bumble, which I'm finding one of our listeners, Mash, is not so keen on the Buck Bumble soundtrack. I think it's pretty good, but I think it's intrusive in their life. Sorry, Mash, if that brought back bad memories, but please keep on listening. Yeah, so for the rest of the show, we're just gonna slow it down a little bit and take it easy. So we're gonna start with the Wolverine's ending from Marvel Superheroes. Enjoy. And that was a track called Birdman from Pilot Wing 64. That was composed by Dan Hess. So yeah, that's about it for the show. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that this Game Jams curse ends soon so that I can have my full voice and not be eating my tongue every time I'm talking. But thank you for listening. If you're not already, you can subscribe to the YouTube at Game Jams Radio Show. So just search for that on YouTube. I don't know what the actual URL is. They add some random characters and stuff, but it's a good way to listen. I love feedback. I love brutal feedback. I know that things can be improved, but I would love to know what to prioritize. But I had a lot of fun doing the show, and yeah. Also, if you're in Brooklyn, New York, if you happen to be in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday, I host a monthly event at Nighthawk, Williamsburg, which is a movie theater. It's called Motion Picture Pop Quiz. Basically, what we do is we watch video clips. I have a panel that comes up with questions on the fly, and you're tasked with trying to answer those questions. It's kind of a trivia thing, but it's graded completely subjectively by me. So I make up the score. So if you're right, you get 5 points. But if you are funny or clever or almost right, I'll give you partial credit. So it's a lot of fun. You get to see some weird videos that you might not have ever seen. Yeah, it's at Low Res Bar at Nighthawk Cinemas, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. You can check out the website, motionpicturepopquiz.com. I'll drop the link in both chats, and the KPIS and the KNGI chats. Yeah, other than that, so we started the show off in the casino. We played Casino Night Zone from Sonic 2, but now we're going to get kicked out of the casino in dilapidated way from Casinopolis from Sonic Adventure 1 by Jen Sinaloa. Have a great day.